I feel like they're kind of laughing at us, that they just thought it was little Idaho Falls, Idaho, and let's just come in and do a number on them. Mostly probably they just didn't care.
Hollywood stars turn out for a cause. It turns out the cause loses money, but the stars have a good time. This is Entertainment Tonight for Friday, the 5th of May, 1989.
Hello, everyone. I'm John Tesh.
And I'm Mary Hart. A group of students from Idaho asked Hollywood for help in raising funds to save a dying woman. The occasion turned out to be a lark for several of the actors participating and a disaster for the community of Idaho Falls. Idaho Falls, Idaho, population 40,000. 2 weeks ago, some young actors from Hollywood arrived for a paid appearance. The event? A concert at this high school to benefit Students Against Drunk Driving, and Darlene Hess, a local resident dying of liver disease, short of funds for a liver transplant. The actors who came to visit, Christine Hodge, Rain Pryor of Head of the Class, Tina Yothers of Family Ties, and teen movie star Corey Feldman, who brought with him a friend, actor Corey Haim. They said they hope to help.
To be drunk and to drive is taking your life and God knows how many other people's lives in your hands.
But the concert proved disappointing. The mediocre turnout left its organizer, student Duke Tron, with plenty of unsold T-shirts and a sizable outstanding debt.
We're looking at about 12 to 13,000. Total cost with everything was a little over $40,000.
Much of the money went to the young stars from Hollywood. All except Corey Haim received a $5,000 appearance fee, first-class airfare, a hotel suite, and expenses. Those expenses turned out to be pages of room service charges by some of the actors billed to the charity. Event organizers found many of these charges to be excessive.
The boys, the hotel told us they had food fights in the room. There was food all over the walls. Alcohol was charged against the Students Against Drunk Driving and drug account, which seems ludicrous. I mean, if you're going to come in and bring your actors in, it would seem you could hold off on the alcohol till you got out of town.
Not all of the visiting stars abused their privileges.
The girls were super. They were fabulous. They were really good. They're great.
Still, the end result? The effort to raise money for Students Against Drunk Driving and dying liver patient Hess failed. It was a blow.
I was at the point I almost gave up, totally, on everything.
But a representative of the public relations firm which helped supply the actors for the Idaho event contends the fees paid were not out of line.
Why are we, being the target here? For doing what we do on a daily basis, it's all legitimate. The rates that they also got, which I won't be specific, the rates that they got were lower than what they normally get for a benefit or a fundraising event.
I feel like they're kind of laughing at us, that they just thought it was little Idaho Falls, Idaho, and let's just come in and do a number on them. Mostly probably they just didn't care.
They could not be expected to fly for free or at their expense to go to Idaho or wherever to raise money for somebody else when, that's money out of their pockets.
Instead, the money has come out of the pockets of two charities in Idaho Falls. In the aftermath, Jim Dobson, the public relations man who arranged the Hollywood connection, had no comment, and the campaign to save Darlene Hess, whom doctors say has less than a year to live, didn't make any money. It lost money.
Actor Corey Haim was not hired as part of the Hollywood celebrity contingent. He just tagged along with fellow actor Corey Feldman, his on-screen and off-screen pal, because it sounded like a chance to have a good time. Haim's arrival in Idaho Falls seemed like a bonus to the charity organizers, another well-known actor appearing on their behalf. But that view quickly changed. According to students around Haim at the event sponsored by Students Against Drunk Driving, Haim spent much of his time looking to purchase cocaine.
Haim asked me if he could use a phone, and I brought him into a room. It was a private room. There was a phone. He called some people and couldn't get, nobody was home. And then he asked me if I could get him any cocaine. I said I didn't have any connections as far as that went, so he's out of luck as far as I could help him.
In a recent interview with Entertainment Tonight, Haim claimed to have kicked a serious drug habit.
It's up to me. I just stay clean. No. It's true what they say. No. 2 letters,
But in Idaho Falls, Haim even asked the charity event organizer for drugs.
Corey Haim, before we went to the sound check at the high school, because it was held at a high school, local high school, pulled me over, asked me if I could get him some stuff, and I asked him what he was talking about. He says, you know, and I says, no, I don't, and he asked for Coke. He says, can you get me some? And I says, I've never done it, and I wouldn't know where to get it, and if I did, I wouldn't get it for you.
Haim's close friend Corey Feldman claims he was not aware of Haim's conduct and could only speak for himself.
I wasn't on drugs, and I do not take part in drugs, and I do not feel it's right to take drugs, and that was what I was there for.
But according to the guardian of the event organizer, Haim's conduct has had a devastating effect on him.
It's hurt him deeply, and he's really disillusioned. I mean, he admired these kids. He was so excited for them to come in. And I remember him talking about seeing Corey Haim in License to Drive and just raved about him and loved Corey Feldman. And to see those kids come in and act that way, it's just sad.
We offered Corey Haim the opportunity to appear on camera and respond to allegations that he solicited drugs in Idaho. His mother, who is also his manager, declined to let him be interviewed. But she told Entertainment Tonight, and we quote here, "If that is what they are saying, maybe that is what happened. I don't know what he might say. We're going to have to try and handle this within the family," end quote. On our Inside Story Monday, Judy Garland, her life ended 20 years ago in tragedy. But we'll remember her incredible talents that will live forever.
I can only give you love that lasts forever.
A special tribute to Judy, the Inside Story Monday, right here on Entertainment Tonight.
Coming up next, 10 years after the movie 10, find out if Bo Derek is still a supercharged sex symbol. And later, we'll take you behind the scenes as the most elaborate epic ever staged for television begins its final chapter.
Kids like cartoon vitamins that taste good. You want them to take a multivitamin you think is good for them. Presenting Sun-Kissed multivitamins for children. The essential vitamins kids need and the taste kids love. Sun-Kissed multivitamins for children.
You say, Mom, can I have this? She says, that's a no-no. But, Mom, you know how I feel about those. But, Mom, and don't go asking your father. But, Mom, it's a Jell-O pudding pop snack. She said, fine.
Fingerprints on glass, smudges on chrome, spots on mirrors. Every day I clean them. Spray on the cleaner, then quick before it drips, scrub with one paper towel, dry with another. 3 messy steps. But now, there's one-step Glassmates, the new wipe with liquid cleaner built in. You just wipe and leave wet. No paper towels, because Glassmates dries by itself to a beautiful shine. No streaks. For your everyday jobs, try new Glassmates. It's one step easy.
You're only 6 numbers away, and luck is all around you.
From the air, the bay appears uniform, a massive body of water overwhelming the casual observer. But get closer. You'll see astounding variety, an ecosystem that is complex and surprisingly fragile. Explore this magnificent resource with Channel 7's naturalists, starting Monday on Channel 7 News at 5 and 6.
Nobody knew anything about television except what we'd read in a few books.
Take a look back at how it all began. 40 years of television history, tonight on Channel 7 News at 11.
Bo Derek is a world-famous sex symbol and movie star, yet she remains independent from the Hollywood system. She and her husband, John Derek, have shunned the glittery trappings of stardom and have created their own private mountain retreat. As you'll see in our look inside Bo's private life, she leads an idyllic life. 10 years ago, this was the image, the face, and the figure that made Bo Derek famous as the perfect 10. 10 years after 10, here on location in the Maldives Islands for her upcoming film, Bo Derek, now 32, still has that face and that figure. But it had been 5 long years since Bo had worked on a film, And we wondered how she spent her days up on the ranch near Santa Barbara she shares with her husband, John.
We breed Andalusian, which he is, this horse from Spain. That's the breed of the nobility back in the old days.
This is a typical day for Bo, working her prized Andalusian stallion. Or playing with her dogs out in front of the house her movie career helped build. It's a lifestyle that one movie, 10, started. But none of this came easily or innocently.
Oh, I've gone through so much. Something that being in this business does to you, especially when you have something like 10, where all of a sudden Bo Derek is so well known, and then if you were to make the decision I made to be in control of your career, produce your own pictures, exploit yourself instead of being exploited, it gives you a lot of experiences, something that probably most people don't have in their whole lifetime.
Her decision to exploit herself rather than be exploited means that you're more likely to see Bo sailing off Santa Barbara than knocking on producers' doors looking for some work. Bo's daily routine also includes a visit to the local gym. She works hard to keep her body in shape, but says her real health secret is life outside of the fast lane that is Los Angeles.
I am convinced that if you stay in that town long enough, you've got to lose yourself. And I think living up here, all our friends are not in the industry, and I think that's very important.
Going to town means to sleepy Santa Ynez proper, to an honest-to-goodness general store to pick up some supplies. Although there is the occasional autograph, the Derricks have long been considered locals, if more famous ones.
What's your name? Gloria. Gloria.
In the 10 years since 10, Bo has only made 3 films, hardly overexposure in the classic sense. But in the movies directed by husband John and produced by Bo, Tarzan the Ape Man and Bolero, there was exposure of another kind, extensive nudity. There were also Playboy pictorials shot by John, and the critics blasted both those movies, which stung Bo at first. But the Derricks say they turned out exactly as they wanted, campy, erotic, and comic.
You take everything too big, and it's taken me all this time to sort of laugh about some things that used to hurt a lot.
10 years after 10, Bo has long since dismissed the press's image of John as a Sengali, a star maker who controlled her every move. In fact, John has said he's now more dependent on her. While the critics may take shots at the latest Bo and John film extravaganza, they could care less, they say. They're still together and still making movies come what may.
I've grown a lot. I've seen a lot. And I think it's taken all this time to sort of relax with it all.
Bo's latest movie, Ghost Can't Do It, will be in theaters this fall. She begins work on her next feature in November. The movie's title and subject matter are still under wraps.
On the CBS series Murphy Brown, Candice Bergen plays a tough television journalist. In an upcoming episode, her character goes one-on-one with a real-life anchor woman who's seen life in the trenches. As the guest star anchor woman discovered, life in the trenches is easier than acting.
Hey, stranger. Linda Ellerby.
Veteran television newswoman Linda Ellerby guest stars on Murphy Brown, playing herself.
I'm not an actor. See, that's the problem. Everybody says, oh, well, it must be easy because you're playing yourself. Playing yourself is not the same as being yourself.
Linda agreed to do the part after she and Candice Bergen met on a talk show. In this episode, Ellerby and Brown are old friends reminiscing about a time when they competed for a job.
See, Ellerby doesn't personalize her material. Now, I've come up with a signature sign-off at the end of my commentary, along the lines of Walter Cronkite's, and that's the way it is. That way, whenever people hear it, they'll always identify it with me. And so it goes.
It's all about whether or not she stole, and so whether I stole, and so it goes from her.
And I did not steal, and so it goes from you. I stole it from Lloyd Dobbins.
You're kidding. Gee, I guess I should apologize for putting your name in the personal section of Soldier of Fortune magazine.
Ellerby says she's a big fan of the show and of the Murphy Brown style.
A woman who puts the Secretary of State on hold to talk to the man who's painting her house is something I can identify with. This is a woman that has got her priorities right.
The Murphy Brown episode featuring Ellerby airs Monday night on CBS.
Mo! Time to
Across the Isuzu sports car with a 4x4 pickup, I must have full voltage! But Dr. Isuzu Stein, is it safe? Trust me.
Introducing the new Amigo. Part sports car, part truck.
It's alive. Well, what do you think, Elmo? You've created a monster!
Spring is here, and so is a bigger, better Marine World Africa, USA. Come closer and see so much more. More shows, more features, more fun. Save $3 at Safeway and start spring with a splash at Marine World Africa, USA in Vallejo. Now open Wednesdays through Sundays.
Bob Reedy is pursuing a dream. Soon he'll be looking for a 7-Eleven. The only place on the planet he can pick up the ultimate cool.
Can I call you right back?
Coca-Cola Slurpee. Thick, smooth, and icy cold. Coca-Cola Slurpee, a refreshing state of mind. Only at 7-Eleven, the sign of the times.
Hey, where'd you get that sun? In your laugh, in your fun. Hey, where'd you get that flair? That perfect look that makes them stare, stare, stare.
Right now, Marshall's has stainless nickel swimsuits for just $15.99 and towels for just $5.99.
How can I feel as good as you? How can I look the way you do? Nobody knows.
$15.99 swimsuits.
Where'd you get those clothes?
I found it at Marshall's.
Oh, yeah.
Sunday night, ABC begins broadcasting the 11.5-hour-long conclusion to its War and Remembrance saga. The miniseries is the most elaborate production ever staged for television, and the producers are confident that the dramatic events depicted in these final hours will rivet viewers to the screen. War and Remembrance, based on the Herman Wouk book, is the story of fictional characters and how their lives were affected by the events of World War II. The final hours will conclude a chapter of television history. The miniseries was shot over an incredible 21 months in 10 countries and at a cost of $110 million. The first 17 hours aired last November. It received mixed reviews and did not generate the kind of ratings ABC had hoped for. Co-star Jane Seymour hopes things will be different this time.
It's unthinkable to us that people won't be completely spellbound and besotted with this material because it was so much a part of our lives and still is.
The last episode begins with Seymour and her uncle, played by Sir John Gielgud, before they're taken to Nazi concentration camps. The actor hopes there's a history lesson for young people in the miniseries.
It seems to me only yesterday, and I think it's extraordinary of a whole younger generation who don't remember it, you see, because I remember it so vividly.
Many of the scenes for Seymour's character were shot in the death camps of Auschwitz.
I cannot express to anyone how horrendous that place is, even today. And the scariest part is that it was such an efficient factory. It was a factory of death.
War and Remembrance also chronicles the lives of the members of the Henry family.
Love, Natalie.
Rather than it just being about World War II, it's about a family that finds itself scattered and separated from one another, and the pain and anguish that each of the characters go through in those separations.
Earlier, we had reported that a Yugoslavian orphan child allegedly suffered emotional distress during the filming of a difficult scene for War and Remembrance. While those associated with the production denied any wrongdoing, ABC's investigation into the incident is still in progress. The network hasn't decided whether or not to make their findings public.
Robert Conrad cast his sons in his TV series High Mountain Rangers and made it a family affair. Now, as Jesse Hawks, he's added the sons of some other well-known stars to create a true second-generation Hollywood showcase.
Puss, we got company!
And some pretty famous company at that. There's Steve McQueen's son, Shad McQueen, and John Wayne's son, Ethan Wayne. That's Ryan O'Neal's son, Griffin O'Neal, and Ramon Sheen from the Martin Sheen acting dynasty. Ryan Cassidy bears a striking resemblance to his famous parents, Jack Cassidy and Shirley Jones.
1 second, Dave. Hold it. Let's have it.
The 5 young actors co-star in a special episode of Robert Conrad's new show, Jesse Hawks. They play an elite group of Army soldiers gone haywire. Off camera, they became fast friends.
Hey, yeah, where do you guys get these? Where do you guys get these razors that shave like
Just
around
a little
like
bit.
1 or 2 hairs?
No, there's a lot of camaraderie. You have to be a son of a celebrated person to really understand what it's like. It is not a piece of cake.
It's a drag going through life being somebody's something, It's better to be your own person.
Gotcha. Okay, now, everybody goes to their guns.
And while their famous names may be something to live down, it's also something to live up to.
We're having fun. You're great. Let's do lunch.
The episode of Jesse Hawks will air Saturday night on CBS.
Love doesn't last forever, but tattoos do. Some advice to romantics from the Insider when we come back.
I like the best, but I like to save money. Love's way works for me.
Kodak presents the Walt Disney World Resort Premier Getaway Sweepstakes exclusively at Long's Drugs. Win one of 4 fabulous vacations to Disney's Contemporary Resort in Florida. Even visit the new Disney MGM Studios theme park. Plus a sun-drenched cruise to the Bahamas aboard Premier Cruise Lines. Hurry, enter now. Sweepstakes ends May 20th. No purchase necessary. Details at all participating Long's Drugs.
Every year at this time in Disneyland, something big begins to happen. Just as soon as the sun goes down. It's the Main Street Electrical Parade, back once again at Disneyland. With more floats, more lights, and more dazzling sights than you could ever imagine. Disneyland is open till midnight every weekend, so plan a trip to see it all again. The Main Street Electrical Parade. Weekends beginning May 19th at Disneyland.
La Victoria. Lee, that's all you ever talk about. No way La Victoria is better than our picante sauce. Want to bet? Go ahead, bet him. Yeah. Okay, look. Well, maybe La Victoria is a little bit thicker. Now grab a taste. This La Victoria salsa tastes fresh. La Victoria salsa really is thicker and fresher. You can bet on it. I told you not to bet him.
What's the smart way to find 2 on the aisle?
I've been searching.
The Pacific Bell Smart Yellow Pages.
So go find it.
What's the smart way to get away from it all?
I've been searching.
The Pacific Bell Smart Yellow Pages.
So go find it.
What's the smart way to get your kicks?
I've been searching.
The Pacific Bell Smart Yellow Pages.
So go find it.
When it comes to roominess, the 1989 Toyota Camry will make you sit down and take notice. It's spacious and comfortable. Best of all, the Camry gives you Toyota quality and room with a great view.
Air transportation furnished and a promotional fee paid by Delta Airlines. From Europe to the Orient, from Mexico to Canada, Delta can fly you worldwide. At Delta, we love to fly, and it shows.
Celebrating a birthday today, actress Tina Yothers turned 16. Actor Michael Palin is 46. Singer Tammy Wynette, 47. Actress Pat Carroll turned 62. Actress Ann B. Davis, 63. And actress Alice Faye is 74.
It's Friday, and the ET Insider is given to second thoughts. He is not alone. Former football star Mark Gastineau has an appointment at the Dermatology Institute of Arizona to have the tattoo nickname G-I-T-T-E, Jeet, removed from his ample posterior. Jeet is actress Brigitte Nielsen, and they are no longer an item. The Insider learned in boot camp that if you want a woman's name tattooed on your body, make sure it says M-O-M. The Vermont Senate Finance Committee has also had second thoughts. As earlier reported by the Insider, the committee had approved a proposal excusing entertainers from state taxes, letting actor Don Johnson off the hook for $50,000 taxes he owed from a movie salary. But after many complaints from angry constituents, the committee has reversed itself, and now Don must pay the tax. So by this time next week, Brigitte will be off Gastineau's butt, and Vermont will be off Johnson's.
East is east and west is west, and according to Kipling, never the twain shall meet. Mr. Kipling was mistaken. East met West at Radio City Music Hall as Broadway hoofers Cheetah Rivera and Tommy Tune got a sneak preview of Takarazuka. The 75-year-old Japanese revue company features an all-female cast.
It's the kind of spectacle that we can't afford anymore, and the Japanese still have enough money to do.
In Santa Monica, Maria Shriver and her brothers made an appearance at a charity art exhibit to raise money for Best Buddies, a program that pairs mentally handicapped children with college students.
I have a mentally retarded aunt, and I think through education, through people being open about what goes on in their own families and what can be done about it, that we all as society benefit.
And in Florida, Brooke Shields was on location to make a guest appearance in the newest video from Julio Iglesias.
It's really nice, and when you get an opportunity like that, you just want to say yes and enjoy it.
Guy's always got a great tan, doesn't he?
Always.
Look at that George Hamilton thing happening. That's it for now. Be sure to join us Monday as we pay special tribute to the great entertainer Judy Garland. And this weekend on Entertainment This Week, Kevin Costner talks about the burden of being a sex symbol.
You know what it's like. We leave you today with a world premiere of a video from the new movie Lost Angels. The song is Many Rivers to Cross, sung by Tony Childs.
Have a safe weekend, everybody.
See you Monday.